How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Hawk Sense. I am your host, Alex Nicolau, and welcome to the second visual episode, everybody. I'm so excited to be doing this one, and I actually teased. I gave you guys a hint last episode of what the tier list was going to be. Now, the hint was it's hero time. Did you guys guess it? Because kudos to you if you did. Because we are doing the Ben 10 Alien tier list. Now, guys, I don't know if I've shared this on the show before. Ben 10 was my favorite superhero when I was younger. I'm talking maybe 14 years old. No, that's tough. 12, maybe 13 years old. Ben 10 was still my favorite superhero. You know, I've obviously loved Spider-Man and Marvel, but Ben 10 held a special place in my heart for some reason. I don't know. The character was just awesome. Dude, I had all the toys. I had all the Omnitrix watches. I had the one that you would put on your, it was like a necklace that you would put under your shirt. And then you'd put the actual Omnitrix on your chest, so you're acting like an actual alien, and then you'd press it. I had every single toy. I had these little toys that you would take apart and replace their limbs, and you make like weird different new aliens. And then I had ones that, thinking back, are really stupid. It's just the normal alien figures, but they're color swapped with another alien's figures. Just kind of just a way to get parents to spend their money on their kids. But I don't know. I love this show, and I think it still holds up. And even on TikTok recently, in the comic book community or the superhero community, he's a reoccurring topic. You know, because for reasons like this, he is the strongest superhero of all time, and we'll get to that a little bit later. But that's the reason he's being brought up so much, is because how great his show in it is, and how great these aliens are. So I thought, why not do a tier list? I'm knowledgeable on this. I can name every single alien and what they do. I'm the OG when it comes to Ben 10, you know? So I thought this would be a great idea, and I'm going to have so much fun doing this. So, just to give a little bit a rule, we are reviewing or rating these characters on both appearance, so their design, and then their usefulness and abilities, right? Let's start off right now. Okay, yeah, we'll start off, and then we'll talk about the tier list here. Ripjaws. Design, sick. One of my favorites in the OG series, for sure. But he's only useful in water. He's when he gets out, he gets dry, and then he can't perform as well as he does in the water. And more times than not, Ben is not in the water, so I'm going to put him at C. You know, so that's how we're kind of going to be doing it with the rest of the aliens. As you can see, we have normal S, A, B, C, D, and F. And then on the top, we're going to do this at the end. We're going to do my Omnitrix for fun. My favorites, who, only 10, obviously, because he only gets 10. 10 aliens that I would want just for fun, you know, to mess around with, to have fun. And then 10 to put my Omnitrix for, an ideal combat situation. Who would I want for an all-time combat if I could have these 10 aliens for the rest of my life, you know? Excluding Alien X, because, come on. Let's be honest here, I just turn into him all the time. But, I mean... let's get going. Let's move on. So next we have Water Hazard. Now this alien appeared in the beginning of Ultimate Alien. He's like a crab. He's like a crustacean. He's a little bit better than Ripjaws in my opinion, because he can also swim. He can shoot water, and he's also as strong as Ripjaws. The design is really cool. You know, he's just kind of like a bionic crab, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna put him at B. Now, Amphibian is, he's like a jellyfish, another one of those who were in the beginning of Ultimate Alien. I think he can fly. He has electric powers, and then he also can go underwater, I think, as well. Yeah, he can. Definitely, because there was that episode where they were stuck in the cube, and he turns in, yeah. You know what I'm saying. Real Ben 10 fans know. But, I mean, he's a cool character. I think I'm going to also put him at C, because there are way better electric guys. And there's another one who I think can go underwater as well that is just 10 times more useful. Armadillo. Now, as brutes come, there's a lot, but he is one of the more interesting one because he can tunnel underground, which is pretty cool. Meaning he can just he just tunnel underground. Also, he can do to make a shield in front of him and stuff. So I think as brutes go, he is very unique and his design is really cool. I'm gonna give him a C. Arctiguana. I mean, he's a ice lizard. That's basically what he is. And there's just another ice person on this list that is just 10 times better. a million times better. So I think I'm going to give him a C because the design is pretty cool. Astrodactyl, now, you're going to hear this a lot from me. A lot of the Omniverse ones just aren't as good as some of the other ones from the original series and Ultimate Alien and Alien Force. He's just kind of like a Jet Ray ripoff, you know, or a remake, you know? Like, I feel like they just ran out of ideas with this one, and they just said, you know, you have to make a new alien. We got to make more toys, you know? So I think I'm just going to give him a D, because he's just a pterodactyl that can fly, and I think he can shoot lasers, but, like, what's Jet Ray? He's kind of like a pterodactyl, too, you know? And he can shoot lasers out of his tail, and he could go underwater, and he's fast, you know? Atomics. Now, Atomics is that guy, bro. This was a sick alien when he first appeared. I remember that. Now, I actually didn't know this alien before I went and rewatched it, because there was like a certain age that you turn and you're like, oh, it's a cartoon on Cartoon Network. I'm too old for that. You know, there's a certain age we all had that kind of phase, and then we go back like, dude, regular show was sick. Adventure Time is sick. Ben 10, the sickest. But this guy can basically like take two elements and put them together and make this like laser. Or like this beam, which is really sick, and he's very overpowered. I'm gonna give him an A. The design is really cool too. Wild Mutt. Now, he was actually one of my favorites. When I first started watching Ben 10 when I was younger, my brother, he liked Ben 10 first, and he had this toy of Wild Mutt, and it came with like this goo that you would squeeze into his head, and then you would press like a button on his back, and then like the goo would like drip out of his mouth like dog drool or something. And cool concept of the character as well. I mean, he's just like a mutt that can't see, so he's kind of nerfed a little bit, and he has this really intense radar. But, you know, seeing the next wolf-like character, or wolf character, literally dog-like character, he's just 10 times better, so I'm going to give him a C. Then Blitzwolfer's got to go on an A. He is a sick alien, bro. He's a wolf. He has those supersonic screeches. You know, he's got that incredible, like, build. And the design is just awesome. And that story was insane as well. Blocks. I'm giving Blocks a B. He's a Lego gorilla. That's basically what he is. And it works really well. And I really do like the character as well. Bullfrag is getting an F. The reason Bullfrag is getting an F is because he has no purpose other than the fact that he was used as a disguise. I mean, sure, he's a little bit taller than Ben. And sure, he can fight, but so can Ben. So really there's no other abilities that he has that, you know, kind of sways my decision not to put him in F. He was just, what are they called? The Incursions? The Incursions, like, took over the planet Earth, and Ben uses it as a disguise to infiltrate their ship, which is really cool. Megawatt. It's going to hurt to put Megawatt in D, but I'm going to have to, because he is a great alien, and that story was really fun, where he kind of like, what were they, in the biggest rubber band, and it was containing the megawatts, right? And then they had to trap him in like the world's largest light bulb, right? That was fun. But like, he can only multiply if he has enough electricity, and if he doesn't have electricity, he's useless. You know, he has to have electricity. He can't generate it himself, so he's kind of useless. Chameleon, I'm gonna give him an F. I'm only giving Chameleon an F because there is another person who can turn invisible on this list that is just 10 times colder than him. And then, like, even when he turned invisible, Gwen had like her magic ability, and she saw his footsteps. So who's to say someone else won't do the same thing? Cannonbolt, A for sure. Here's the thing about Cannonbolt. He's in my favorites list, but he doesn't have a place because he's just that guy. You know, he's like your best friend. You know, you wanna make cookies with him. You want to go see a movie with him. You want to go grab lunch. Cannonbolt is that type of person, and his design is also great. His powers are great. He just bounces around and he hits people. Come on, he's a comedic character too because he's so large and he's like has such a stiff body. He's a great character. You know. Brainstorm, on the other hand, even though he's brilliant and he has the electric ability, you know what? I'm comfortable with C for Brainstorm because he was a good addition to the Alien Force team. but with his electric abilities and his brain power, and it's a cool design too. So I'm gonna give him a C. Clockwork is an S tier, like for sure S tier. Like come on, he literally can manipulate time. He can shoot your phone and turn it into ancient dust. Not even just like destroying it, just turning it back in time to when it was just dust, when the material that it's made of was dust, or forward in time to where it's rotting in a landfill. You know, that's sick. And then he can also just reverse time. You know, which is really sick. Crash Hopper is kind of like the nerfed version of Cannonbolt. I mean, he just kind of bounces around hitting people, and he's just kind of a smaller bullet than Cannonbolt would, you know? So I'm going to give him a D. Design's pretty cool. One of those Omniverse ones that are kind of like a miss, like Astrodactyl. Forearms. Forearms is S tier. Now, here's the thing. The S tier is going to fill up, but like, come on, you can't blame me. Is Forearms not an S tier? That design is great. He has 4 arms. He's a brute. Come on, like let's be real here. That's awesome. And then next we have Diamond Head, who's also an S tier. Is Diamond Head not an S tier? Is he not around the same strength as Forearms? Maybe a little less, but can do more. He has that. He can do a diamond sword. He can do a diamond shield. He can shoot diamond like shards. He can do a diamond thing underground. Like, come on, he's S tier for sure. Ditto is great design, great fun episodes with him. So I'm gonna give him a D because there's another guy in a couple here that just can do the same thing but better as Ditto. Edel, I'm gonna give a C. He basically ate stuff and shot it out of that horn. He's kind of like a beetle. That's pretty much it. Echo is A tier for sure. Like I said, he's basically Ditto, but 10 times better. He can multiply. He can do the supersonic waves, and he's also just a funny character to listen to. And the design is great. He looks like an AirPod. He's an AirPod. That's basically what he is. He's an AirPod. The worst is the worst. Like, come on, let's be real here. Like, this character was used for comedic purposes, and when he came on the screen in Omniverse, I wanted to throw something at the TV. Like, what are you doing with this character right now? Ball Weevil, I'm actually going to give a B. Ball Weevil's actually a really cool character in Omniverse. It was a very unique character. He's basically like he's kind of like a dung beetle. You know how dung beetles kind of just like ride around on poop and then like collect more poop as they go and make a ball out of it? He does that with his like acidic explosive spit, which is really cool. And he just kind of launches it at his enemies, and it's cool. It's fun. Ghost Freak is definitely an A. Like, come on, let's be real here. Something wants to tell me to put it in S, but the S tier is just so special, and there's gonna be a lot in S, which kind of sucks because I don't like I said in the last podcast or the visual, I don't want to put too much in S because then it just kind of ruins the uniqueness of the S tier. But in this case, there's so many S's, you know. I'm gonna give Ghost Freak an A because although he's a really cool character, a really cool story, really cool arc, he's like, there's another ghost-like character that can do a lot more than him, and he's coming up here in a second. Fast Track, I'm going to give a... Dang, this is one of the ones that rides the line here. I'm going to give him a sorry D, because he has a really cool design, and I did like when this character came on screen, but it is already like proven that Accelerate is faster, and who doesn't like Accelerate more? You know, like, come on, let's be real here. Feedback's an S. What a great character. The greatest alien in Omniverse. What a great design. Like, this character is awesome. And I love how they just kind of put him in there. Like, Ben's seen him before, and Ben loved Feedback. And, like, we never saw Feedback in the original series. But it was, I mean, he's an amazing character. And he's my personal favorite electric type alien that Ben has. Ben Victor. Or Frankenben. I love how the mythical creature characters all have different names. Like this one was called like Ben Wolf, or now has like the Blitzwolfer. This one was called Frankenben, but also is Ben, what was it? Frankenben, or I just said it. How do I? Okay, never mind. Let's move on. But Frankenben, I'm going to give him B because the design is really cool. And I I mean, he's kind of a brute with electricity in him, and the design is actually really cool. In my opinion, oh, his name is Ben Victor. My bad. I just thought it. Anyway, in my opinion, one of Ben's greatest aliens of all time, Big Chill. How could you not love this alien? He literally has it all. He has also he's just a sick design. He's like a mixture between a bug and an owl, right? He has ice powers, right? He has an ultimate form that's pretty sick as well. He has that hooded cloak design, which is sick. He can fly. He can turn invisible. He can phase through walls. He is one of Ben's most versatile and best aliens of all time, and you will never not see him on any of my Omnitrixes. He is going to be on my For Fun and Ideal because of just how outstanding and versatile Big Chill is. What an underrated alien. Nobody talks about how Big Chill is one of Ben's best aliens, and that is so stupid because he is. He's him, bro. Now these next two are really tough because they're kind of like the main fire types in Ben's arsenal, and they're goated. They truly are both goated, but only one can be an S tier, and it's not Swampfire. Swampfire is great, and in my opinion, if I were to pick a fire guy, I would have to pick him for my Omnitrix Ideal, which I just kind of spoiled. Whatever. But Heat Blast, come on. He's an S tier, right? Let's talk about Swampfire first. Goated. Design is goated. That's a great design. Do not give me that Omniverse design. That new Omniverse design sucked. I hated that episode. That sucked. But he's basically Heat Blast and Wild Vine mixed. And that's sick. He's a great character, and he's so versatile in that. But Heat Blast, like, that design is one of my favorites in the entire series. Also, his voice and all the sound effects that went with him, like, that was just sick. Come on, when he turned into Heat Blast, it was hype, you know. Goop. Now I'm gonna be honest. Goop's underrated. Goop is getting a B. You know why? Because he's underrated. Let's be real here. All right. Now he might not be the most useful alien. Like if he was going up against Vilgax, he wouldn't turn into Goop right away. But there's always those moments where he needs to get through a vent system that he can't unlock, or he needs to burn through a door. You know. Goop is like acidic goo, right? He takes that little satellite dish off and he can move his little goo self into tight spaces. He can burn stuff because he has acidic. He's a problem solver. He really is. And he's also a great design. He's a great character and one of my favorites in Alien Force. And he's underrated in my opinion. Gravitak was a major hit with the Omniverse characters. I'm going to give him an A. That design is insane. He's a planet. He's literally a planet. Look, that right there is his core. Sick. And then he can turn into that planet like form where he just turns into like a literal planet, and he has that orbit and you can orbit things around him and throw stuff. What? That is sick. He can alter gravitational pulls. That is sick. Come on. Design is also just outstanding. Gutrot or Gut Rot. I'm gonna say Gut Rot because he produces gases, right? So Gut Rot basically puts two gases together or different types of gases together to create some sort of lethal gas, whether it be to kill someone, obviously probably not because it's Cartoon Network, to put someone to sleep, to, I don't know, make him itch, make him sneeze, I don't know, he's a cool character, cool design, but I'm going to give him a B because, I mean, interesting concept, you know. Kickin' Hawk. Now, he was one of my favorites in the Ben 10 series, Omniverse series, because of just how cool his design was, but looking back at him, he's just a giant chicken who kicked people. I'm gonna give him a B because he was kind of a brute, but like, let's be honest here. If you want a brute, Humongousaur might be your guy. Like, let's be honest here. He's not only just one of the biggest and strongest brutes, he can also grow and become even bigger and stronger. You know, so like he's definitely, he outweighs both Four-Arms and Diamond Head in this situation here. But I mean, like, come on, like, how can you not pick Humongousaur? The design, I mean, it's rather just basic, which is good. They kind of ruined it in Omniverse when they gave him the Speedo and the belt. I would have rather had this or something a little bit different. I mean, you know what? The reboot does a really nice job. I like the scales, and I like how he has a little cannon, or like the little, what is it? What do they call it? Like a mace on the end of his tail. That's cool. I like that. Stinkfly is getting a B, and Kick and Honk is moving to C, actually. Yeah, Kick and Honk is moving to C. Now that I put him next to Stinkfly, come on. You gotta know, Stinkfly is that guy. He was one of Ben's only, Jesus, aliens in the original series that could fly, right? Also, he could shoot that goo, and the voice and the design was great. Like, he's very underrated alien. Jetray, I'm gonna give a C. Not the biggest fan of Jetray. I don't know what it is. I mean, he's a cool alien, and he's definitely very useful. You know, he can shoot the rays out of his. I mean, I'm gonna give him a B. I think that's unfair. This is a fair rating here for Jetray. The design is cool. He's fast. He can go underwater. He can shoot lasers out of his tail. He's useful in those moments of, you know, speed and I mean, if you want to shoot someone while you're on a high speed chase or something, you know. Jury Rig is getting a D. He's basically upgrade, but takes too long. Design is all right, I guess. Lodestar. He's basically Magneto. It's a cool concept, so I'm gonna give him a C. And I do like the design, but honestly, like, when are you really needing to bend metal? Like, just like, come here, you know, type of thing. I mean, he's useful for those moments. You know, this was the first alien that Ben turns into in Omniverse. The first alien we see him turn into. I thought it was gonna be like Four-Arms or Diamond Head or something, but you turn into a Lodestar. But yeah, he basically just attracts metal. Gray Matter is S. You can't tell me otherwise. Come on. He is not only the most brilliant species of alien ever. He can fit into tight spaces. The design is sick, and he's just cool. He's a cool guy. He's cool. He'd be a cool pet, you know. Mustache is getting an F. I mean, another one of those characters that was there for comic relief. He basically is a mole whose mustache can form into different things, like a parachute or punching gloves, boxing gloves. Spider Monkey is that guy. I'm giving him an A. He's basically Spider-Man, which, who doesn't love Spider-Man? No. He's a monkey that has extra limbs and it can shoot webs out of his tail. That's sick. What Spider-Man fan would not eat that up? I know I did as a kid. I know you're staring at it. That's my 8-pack right there. It's got, you know, it's got Toby, it's got Tom, it's got Andrew, and it's got Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, Jamie Foxx's Electro, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, Rhys Ifans, the Lizard, and Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman. Pretty sick, right? It's a Walmart exclusive. I'm going to have something new in every episode. Last episode, I literally had the 3-pack of Spider-Man. And I have another 3 Spider-Man here. I have a problem, dude. I have a problem. But where were we? Spider Monkey. A. For sure. Great design, too. I love the characters. What was one of my favorites in the series until I grew up and I knew that Big Chill and Wrath, we'll talk about him later, were those guys. Eye Guy. I'm gonna be honest. Eye Guy was a great character. He is just like a really cool design. Really cool design, and he can shoot lasers out of that eye, which is like what? It's a really cool design, really creative in my opinion. Way Big. Let's save Way Big before the Ultimates because I have some stuff to say about him. Nanomech is easily a C. I mean, he is just like this little speck that can get into tiny spaces, but I mean, let's be real here. I mean, Gray Matter could probably do that enough, and he's smarter. NRG is getting a B. Come on, he's a big Russian alien that is trapped inside of a metal suit because he's basically what is he? Basically he's basically like a giant fireball, I guess, or like molten like material, And then I love the part in Omniverse where he's like, no, don't break me out of my suit. I cannot handle it. And they break him out, and he goes, ha ha ha, suckers. And they just start murdering everybody. Yeah, great character, great design, really cool. Next is Pesky Dust. And hear me out. If you don't know who this character is, this Pesky Dust is not to be meddled with. It may be a fairy or a pixie, and it may look so cute and innocent, but when it sprinkles its pixie dust or fairy dust, whatever, on you, you see your worst nightmare. This alien will make you, basically give you the Scarecrow fear toxin and look this adorable and cute. That is insane, right? That is a great twist in this character for looking so cute and innocent, right? Great. Chromastone, A, for sure. Chromastone's an A for sure. One of my favorites for sure. I love the design of this character. It looks fantastic, and his abilities are great. And I love how his species is like the cousin species of the Diamond Head species, which is like the... It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm not going to try to guess it right now before I sound like an idiot. But great design, great arc, and this character, definitely one of my favorites. Let me tell you something, HawkSense audience members. Wrath is an S-tier Ben 10 alien. He is. He's a humanoid tiger with 2 big claws. Come on. He's sick. He's one of the best brutes in the game. And that little intro I gave him is literally how he talks. He goes, let me tell you something, Gwen Tennyson, my cousin, blah, blah, blah. Wrath doesn't care. Sick design, sick character, sick voice acting by John DiMaggio, Jake from Adventure Time. Great character, great lovable character. How can you not love Wrath? You can't not. Shock Swatch is getting a B, for sure. Great design. Was my favorite electric type alien, but in the redesign, I don't know if you guys ever saw the real design from the Generator X Ben 10 episode crossover event. It did not look like this, and this looks 10 times better than what the original one did. It actually just looked like Sasquatch, but like he just had like blue electricity coming out of him. Great design here, and he is a great electric type. Snarrow or Ben Mummy, another one of those. Ben what's. Great character. I'm going to put him at C because he's kind of like Wildvine if he ran out of vines. He's just not very, very useful, but he's great design, great character. Spitter is getting a D. He kind of just spits acidic vomit, which a lot of other characters kind of do, which is kind of gross. Like Goop is all acidic. Ballweevil can shoot acidic balls. Stinkfly can fly and shoot acidic goop, whatever. So yeah, I think D's kind of like an Artiguana type thing, but like kind of just gross. Topic. Now, I don't know if you guys ever or remember Topic. I'm gonna give him an A. Design is really gross. He kind of just looks like Shrek with a submarine helmet on, and he's like naked. But apparently, when he unlocks that little cage on his face, the enemies just like die inside, and they just run away. It's like the weirdest thing. No one's ever seen his face. I think they made a toy where you can unlock his face, and it was just like some like very vague like skin colored face with eyes, but like nothing too like, or his skin color, which is like a urine yellow. But like it didn't do it justice for what we think the actual Topic face looks like. But A for sure. He's odd, but it's cool. Terra Spin. He's a giant turtle that can do tornadoes and fly. That's sick when you need him. So A. Also, I love turtles. Everybody knows that. Upgrade. S. Come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? You can jump into my toaster and make it a turret. Come on. You know? Upchuck, he's getting a B. For sure. He's basically Edel, but just 10 times cooler because of the design and just the nature of Upchuck. I don't know which one I prefer. I don't know if I prefer this like lime green one, or I prefer the one with spots, because they're like two different species of that alien, which is pretty cool to see. I love how like some of them just have like diversity in their aliens, and just really cool. But he basically just eats stuff and then creates these bombs, and he spits them out, which is really cool. Walkatrout he's a fish. He's a fish, and he's another gag character like the rest of these. And what can you say? Vampire is getting a D. I'll put him in C because he's another one of those like mythical Halloween type characters. And the design is all right. Could have been better, and he's just kind of a vampire. Wildvine's getting an A for sure. Great character. I love how they the original series was great with Wildvine, but the Omniverse was a lot better in my opinion. Just a great character, great overall character. He's just a walking plant, and he has like the Venus flytrap on himself, and he can throw those whatevers, and he can use his vines basically like swinging vines, which is pretty cool. Accelerate's getting an S. Come on, let's be honest here. He's the fastest in Ben's arsenal, and the design is sick. The voice is sick. Come on, like what are we doing here? And last but not least, before we tap into the ultimate aliens, and then the last alien we have here, Way-Big. I was debating on whether or not, that's why I moved him back, is because I was debating whether or not to put him in S tier, because I don't know if he deserved it, but now that I'm thinking, he is the largest in Ben's arsenal. He gets him out of great sticky situations, and he's just kind of a killer. So I'm going to put him in S. He also has that beam that he does when he does like this, which is really cool. So yeah, S tier. Now, when it comes to the ultimate aliens, I'm conflicted. Because in my opinion, some of the designs aren't cooler than some of the original designs. Also, do I rank them by their abilities or their designs? You know, because they're just upgraded versions of characters that I have. Like, let's say for Wildmutt and Cannonbolt, I have Wildmutt in C. I don't automatically want to have to put Ultimate Wildmutt in B because he's the better version. You know, same thing with Cannonbolt here. He's not an S tier, Ultimate Cannonbolt. You know, it also just depends on like the appearance of these characters in the show and stuff. So it's tough. It really is tough. I'm gonna go on design alone, and we're just gonna do this quick. Ultimate Wildmutt. I mean, it was a little bit of an improvement. I do like the orange coloration rather than the red. I do like the tail. I do like the fins. I'm gonna give it a C though. Ultimate Cannonbolt. I like that, but it's not. I mean, it's not like the classic. He's all one color and he's metallic. I do like the spikes though. It's B. Ultimate Echo. I do like the design a lot, but not. I mean, he doesn't really multiply like the original Echo does. He kind of just shoots out those, those sound beams or whatever. I'm gonna also give him a B. Ultimate Big Chill was sick. I mean, like, he's just kind of like that version of Cold, like Frostbite, basically. Like, you know how when you touch, like, if you ever touch dry ice, if you're ever an idiot and touch dry ice, the initial feeling is like heat. Like, oh, it's so hot, but it's like just so cold it feels hot. So that's what they're kind of getting at here. I'm gonna give it an A. It's a really cool design. I do like the fringes on his eyes, really cool. The same thing here with Swampfire. You know how when you touch something really hot, if you're ever an idiot and you touch something really hot, it's just like, if for like your first initial like feeling is like cold, but it's just like super hot. I'm gonna give him a C because I don't really like it compared to the other ones. Same thing with Ultimate Humongousaur. I just don't like the coloration versus the original Humongousaur. I think they just tried too hard and just doesn't look like Humongousaur at that point. Ultimate Spider Monkey, I'm gonna give a B. I mean, and then Ultimate Way-Big, I'm gonna give a B as well. And then finally we land at Alien X. It's just hard to do the Ultimate Aliens because they're the better versions of the original characters, and I just don't think that like the impact of the characters, like, as like Cannonbolt's been around. He's been around through all of the seasons and before Ultimate Alien, before he turned Ultimate. So it's a little different ranking them in their Ultimate versions because they're just not as like appealing as the original ones were in their ultimate or in their regular states. So I just wanted to do them on design alone. Lastly, we have Alien X. It's unfair. It's unfair. But we'll add another. Add another just for him. Oh, we gotta move up here. God. He is a god tier alien. And he's Ben's strongest alien that we've seen. And even though he's only the strongest alien that we've seen, he has 3 other aliens that are stronger than Alien X. And even with Alien X, Ben is the strongest superhero of all time. Hear me out, right? So, let me break it down for you. Alien X is an alien species called Celestial Sapien. He can recreate, create, and edit universes. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you haven't watched the entire series, or you have, you'll know. But in the original Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and before, towards the end of Omniverse, when Ben turns into Alien X, he has to confront these 2 personalities that live inside of Alien X, called Bellicus and Serena. They are polar opposites, right? They do not agree on anything. But Ben has to make them agree to let him use Alien X. And like I said, they're polar opposites, so that's not easy, right? Every move, doesn't matter if it's 1 move or 2 moves, he has to do it each time, right? Now, I know what you're saying, but wouldn't that make him, like, vulnerable? What if, like, Superman was up against him and he had to do moves? Would he have to make them agree to punch left, punch right, do this, do that? Now, towards the end of Omniverse, genius Ben Tennyson makes Bellicus and Serena agree for him to have free will usage of Alien X, and they can just argue without being interrupted by him ever again. And they agreed, and he has free usage of Alien X. This alien can edit, destroy, and create universes. Superman is coming at him. Destroy the universe, recreate it without Superman, or edit it without Superman. Thanos, all 6 Infinity Stones. Rewrite it so Thanos never even thought about the Infinity Stones. Right? Dr. Manhattan, destroy him. Destroy the universe that he's a part of. And that is not even his strongest alien. That is his 4th strongest alien. There are 3 other aliens that are stronger than Alien X. And we've never seen them. Come on, come on. All right, now let's have some fun. Let's do our ideal one first, and then we'll have some fun. So obviously, without Alien X, let's delete this row here. Alien X. I mean, you can just stay right there. You're fine. My ideal list, right? So who would we need in our ideal list? We obviously have and we're also not going to include the Ultimates, cause like, come on. We're not gonna. I want to do this strategically. You know, I want to have like a water. I want to have a flying. You know, so I want to, number 1, Big Chill. Gets rid of the flying. Gets rid of, you know, he phases through walls. He can go invisible, so he can be undetected. And he has that frost, which is nuts. He also sick. Like, let's be honest here. Fire. I'm gonna have to go Swamp Fire, because even though Heat Blast is my favorite hothead in Ben's arsenal, he just has more uses. You know, he's basically Heat Blast and Wild Vine rolled into one, which is quite useful. Clockwork, I think, is a given, even though he's kind of overpowered. He can manipulate time, which is really awesome. I mean, I think we're just picking from SA and maybe B, you know. I'm going to go Accelerate. I need someone with speed. He can even walk on water if Big Chill's not fast enough to fly. So, over it. And then I need a Brute. Now, Way Big is overkill for a Brute, obviously. Humongosaur is kind of perfect, because although he matches the strength in his base form of like Forearms and maybe Diamond Head. He can also grow and become stronger and bigger. So I think I'm going to have to go with Humongousaur. So there we are with 5. Upgrade. Come on. And then I'm going to have to go with Gray Matter. I mean, these two kind of go hand in hand at that point. You need your brains and you need your tech upgrades. Like I said, toaster to turret, And then you need your, this kind of also eliminates the tight spaces and brilliant. So yeah, we got 7, so 3 more. Part of me, we need electric, so feedback. Now 2 more. Now part of me wants to do something a little drastic here and maybe put Grab Attack or Diamond Head in there just for another brute. Also because Grab Attack does have some insane abilities. And Diamond Head also has some added abilities to being a brute. But we have the brute situation. We have someone who can shoot stuff. No. Dang. This is tough. The last 2. Because part of me is saying put way big in there. You're gonna need someone for those times where there's just someone that's way too big, This is tough. This is truly tough. So we have our fire guy, we have our electric guy, we have our kind of flying guy, we have our fast guy, we have our brute, we have our tech guys, and we have the big guy, and we have the overpowered time travel guy. What if I just go Bullfrag, That's tough. It really is tough. We don't have a water guy. So part of me wants to put Ripjaws in there because he is my water guy. But like I said, how many times out of 10 are we fighting underwater? Not many. And even that, I think maybe Big Chill can go underwater too, right? I think maybe. Or Accelerate maybe, because he has that mask. I don't know how useful he'd be underwater though. I think I gotta get a water guy, dude. No. Dude, this is tough. This is tough. Picking only 10 aliens? I mean, the original 10 were, what? Heat Blast, Diamond Head, Forearm. So that's 2 brutes. Accelerate, Upgrade, Gray Matter, and then... Cannonbolt wasn't a part of it. Neither was Wild Vine. Wild Mutt. And, Ripjaws. And Upchuck kind of came after. Or Stinkfly as well. That's tough. You know what? I think we need a water guy. We do need a water guy. There's got to be someone to fill in that space in case we do go underwater. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna have to go Water Hazard. I mean, he shoots water and he can go underwater. I mean, he's kind of the package when it comes to being a water type alien. I mean, I love Ripjaws. He's my favorite design of all the water type aliens, but that's tough. That truly is tough. Now let's have some fun. I gotta put Wrath in there for sure. I just messed up my tier list entirely now, so I'm sorry. Wrath in there because come on, I love Wrath. Who doesn't love Wrath? I'm gonna put Big Chill in there for fun as well. We're gonna have some fun as Upgrade. Definitely gonna have some fun as. Ooh, hold on, I didn't put Atomics in there in my ideal. Okay, we'll just leave it because kind of overpowered. Spider Monkey, Chromastone. These are just my favorites. I'll do Heat Blast for fun. So that's 6. This is tough too. Picking my 10 favorites because there's 70. There's 70 aliens here, bro. Blitzwolfer would be fun to play around in. And then maybe Grab Attack, and then... I'm gonna go Ghost Freak. I mean, we got the big chill ghost aspect. I'll go blocks. Blocks is fun. And then I'll go feedback. That's a great one, right? So that matches a 10, right? Yeah, so that's my Omnitrix for fun list. And then we had our ideal, but I kind of messed with that one as well. I mean, I think that's about it, guys. I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I mean, a lot different than what we usually do. This is not a Marvel or DC character. I mean, technically we could call him a DC character because he's owned by Warner Brothers. But obviously not. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, everybody. I enjoyed doing this. If you guys want to see more Ben 10 content, me talking about other, like, you know, because honestly, I think I have an idea of what they should do for future Ben 10 stuff, because I know they just have the reboot right now, and not a lot of people are loving it, and I know a lot of fans who are fans of the show when they were younger really want something new. If you guys want some more Ben 10 related content, I would love to talk to you guys about the idea that I kind of have for a newer Ben 10 kind of series that follows the original Ben Prime. So yeah, just let me know. DM us at our Instagram at redhawk.media and say, hey, I would love to hear more Ben 10 stuff from Alex from HawkSense or whatever. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you guys have any questions about Red Hawk Media and maybe want to get involved, you can follow us and DM us on our Instagram at redhawk.media. DM us any questions you like. Say, hey, I'm from HawkSense, and I will answer you personally and give you all the information you need. Once again, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.